Hello students, welcome to EduBlossom. Let's start with the chapter Heredity and Evolution from class 10th. Today we are going to do first part of this chapter. What is heredity? The process by which the traits or characteristics are transmitted from parents to offsprings. So, the process of transmission of genetic traits from parents to offsprings or from one generation to the next generation is known as heredity. Let's discuss heredity with the help of this example. Here we have taken 3 generations. If we study the traits in this baby, we know that the traits in this baby are because of the genetic makeup which this baby has derived from his parents. Half of the genetic material has come from the father and half of the genetic material has come from the mother. Similarly, mother has got her genetic material from her parents. That means this baby's grandparents. Similarly, father has got his genetic material from his parents, that is from paternal grandparents of this baby. We may observe that some of the traits in the baby may be resembling with the mother or with the maternal grandmother. Similarly, some characteristics or some traits may be resembling with maternal grandfather, or some characteristics or some traits may be resembling with paternal grandmother or with paternal grandfather, or even some resemblances may be with the father. Why these resemblances are there? That is because of the transmission of characters from this generation to the next one and from this generation to the next one. Or in other words, we can say that transmission of characters from parents to offsprings, from one generation to the next, from this generation to its next. That is known as heredity. One thing more we notice here, that the basic body design remains the same generation after generation. But every individual is different from the other. Even the offsprings are different from the parents. So these differences are known as variations. So we can say that the common or basic body design remains the same generation after generation, but subtle changes, some differences are created. These differences are known as variations. What are variations? Differences in the inheritance of characters from one generation to the next. Differences between parents and offsprings. Differences between the organisms of same species. As you think of the human species, every human being is unique and different from the other. The common basic body design is the same in the entire species, but subtle changes in the next generations cause variations. Let's discuss about accumulation of variations during reproduction. We discuss variations with the help of this hypothetical diagram. Suppose this is an organism and it has a particular basic body design. If this organism undergoes asexual reproduction, then this a single parent will give rise to 2 new individuals. Similarly, these individuals will further reproduce asexually to give rise to 2 more new individuals. So the original organism at the top gives rise to 2 individuals, similar in body design but with subtle differences. As we can see here, the trait shown on the upper side has been changed. So a difference has been created. So each of these organisms in turn will give rise to 2 individuals in the next generation. Each of the 4 individuals in the bottom row are different from each other, while some of the differences are unique and some are inherited from their respective parents. As here, This trait has been inherited from this parent to its next progeny. So this is inherited trait for these two new individuals. But these individuals have created their own unique traits also. As we can see, this trait has not been inherited from the parent. Rather, this trait has been inherited from the parent. So, some are inherited, some are acquired or unique traits, but these differences or variations keep on accumulating over succeeding generations and create a lot of diversity in the population. One thing more, if this individual or a single parent is giving rise to new individuals, then this kind of a reproduction is known as asexual reproduction. And in asexual reproduction, variations are caused due to errors in DNA copying. This DNA copying is also known as replication. So during replication or during DNA copying, the chance errors are caused, which result the variations. But in case of the sexual reproduction, what happens? Two parents are involved. And normally during gamete formation, meiotic cell division occurs. So during meiosis, crossing over occurs. So crossing over produces new genetic recombinations. Moreover, as two parents are involved, so different type of gametes with different kinds of genetic recombinations can fuse together. So this way more variations are produced in case of sexual reproduction. So we can say that more variations or greater genetic diversity is observed in sexual reproduction as compared to the asexual reproduction, because in asexual reproduction the variations or differences are caused only because of the errors during DNA copying. What do we mean by genetics? The branch of biology which deals with the study of heredity and variations is called genetics. So we have already discussed about heredity and variations. This means right now we are studying genetics. What are inherited traits? The traits which are inherited from parents to the offsprings or from one generation to the next are known as inherited traits. These traits are due to the genetic makeup of the progeny or due to the kind of genes or the genotype of the individual. Let's discuss some examples of inherited traits and the variants in human population. We are going to discuss only a few examples here. First example is earlobes. These may be free or fused. What is this? The lower part of the pinna is known as earlobe. So if this is hanging like this, then the earlobe is known as free. But if it is not hanging freely, rather it is attached directly with the side of the face, then it is known as fused earlobe. So earlobe is a trait and its two variants are free and fused. Similarly, hair color is also one of the inherited trait. Its various variants may be black hair or golden hair, or in Asian countries we may observe different shades of brown hair color. Eye color is also an inherited trait. Different eye colors may be observed like black and blue. Hair type is also an inherited trait. Its variants may be straight hair or curly hair. Height is also one of the inherited trait. Blood group. Various kinds of blood groups A, B, AB, O, or the Rh factor, which is known as Rh factor positive or negative. So all these blood groups, A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, AB positive, AB negative, O positive, O negative, these all are inherited from the parents. And complexion also. So different kind of complexions like the dark complexion, intermediate complexion or fair complexion. So this is also one of the inherited trait. Its various variants are observed in human population. So all these traits are inherited traits because these are transmitted from parents to the offsprings or from one generation to the next generation. What are acquired traits? These traits cannot be passed from parents to offsprings or from one generation to the next. So these are acquired or developed during lifetime in response to the environmental conditions. So such traits are known as acquired traits. There are a lot of examples of acquired traits. Let's discuss a couple of the examples. For example, muscular development. You might have seen people going to the gym and doing heavy weight trainings over there. So if we undergo heavy weight training, then our muscles get developed. Muscle development is different in the bodybuilders or in other people. So that is a trait which is acquired during our lifetime. Similarly, in Asian countries, women bore their pinna and nose. So boring of the pinna and nose is always acquired during the lifetime. It is never inherited from the mother to the daughter or from one generation to the other. So this is also a kind of acquired trait. So what is the difference between inherited traits and acquired traits? The traits which are inherited from parents to the offsprings or from one generation to the next are known as inherited traits. These are due to the genetic makeup of the progeny, which is also known as genotype or the genetic material present in the individual. What are acquired traits? These traits cannot be passed from parents to the offsprings or from one generation to the next. These traits develop during lifetime in response to the environmental conditions. So these are acquired during lifetime. So this is the difference between inherited traits and acquired traits. That is all about the first part of this chapter, heredity and evolution. In the second part, we are going to discuss about rules of the inheritance of traits and Mendel's contribution in that. So see you all in the second part of the video. That's all for today. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.